Africa occupies 1/5 of the Earth's land area. Here, deserts rendezvous with oceans. Savannas intersect with rivers. It is a place which more than 1 billion people from 54 countries call home.
无论中国发展了哪一步，中国永远都把非洲国家当作自己的患难之交。
The stories we unfold are about Africans and Chinese, how they meet, mingle, and collaborate, and about the future forged in their joined hands. Dakar, the capital of Senegal and the westernmost city of the African mainland.
Je m'appelle Moussa Waguet. J'aime faire beaucoup de choses comme la lutte. Tu peux être célèbre dans la lutte et tout le monde te connaît.
14-year-old Mustafa is a 6th grade student.
Je voudrais vous annoncer une nouvelle. S'il plaît au bon Dieu, il y aura un combat de lutte. Je demande quels sont les élèves qui veulent y participer.
In Senegal, almost everybody loves traditional wrestling. However, the country has no modern arena built for the sport. To help preserve their traditional culture, the Chinese government has built a modern wrestling arena for Senegal. The Senegal National Wrestling Arena covers 18,000 square meters and can seat 20,000 people. The 207-meter-long steel canopy mimics the shape of the gold belt worn by champion wrestlers. Deng Hong, 42, is a representative for the Chinese Ministry of Commerce, stationed in West Africa. He's been involved in more than 100 Chinese economic aid projects in over 30 countries. Currently, he's supervising the wrestling arena project. Deng wants a youth competition to be the first in the new arena. The Senegal National Wrestling Arena is among many Chinese-constructed projects completed in Africa recently. Infrastructure has long been an important part of the Sino-African economic relationship. The Mombasa-Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway in Kenya, Adama Wind Farm in Ethiopia, and the Kariba Hydropower Plant Extension projects in Zambia and Zimbabwe are all examples of Sino-African collaboration. The past half-century has seen the building of railways, highways, ports and power plants, all of which have done much to transform people's lives.
Mes parents ne soutiennent pas au début la lutte trop parce qu'ils veulent que je concentre sur mes études. Ils veulent soit que je devienne un procureur.
Mustafa told his family that he'd signed up for the competition. They gave him the green light on the condition that he didn't let it affect his studies in any way. Senegal has a 700-kilometer coastline. Its beaches are natural wrestling grounds. The weekend before the competition, the headmaster takes his students to the beach to train.
Donc la distance entre les deux, ça va être une grande distance.
3 days on, the arena has passed all of its commissioning tests. The The majestic landmark stands proud as the biggest of its kind in all of Africa. The competition can begin.
显视频、产中心、西看台，准备好了吗？准备好了。
According to the rules, to become champion of the day, Mustafa has to win 3 bouts.
与其说是我们在给他们颁奖，还不如说是他们在给我们颁奖。他们的喜悦、笑容和激情，就是给我们中国建设者的最大的肯定。
From the Atlantic coast, we cross the African continent and reach its highest point at Mount Kilimanjaro. To the south is Tanzania, a land blessed with ample sunshine and steady temperatures from day to night. Tanzania is one of the world's biggest producers of sisal, earning it the nickname, the Kingdom of Sisal.
My name is Majuto Chitema. I'm a Tanzanian. I'm the factory manager of China State Farm Tanzania Limited.
28-year-old Chitema was born in central Tanzania. After graduating from business school, he came to work on the farm. He's in charge of sisal fiber production. Sisal is a tropical crop. It provides the world with the largest quantity of stiff natural fiber. It has strength, durability, and is resistant to corrosion. It's also vital for maritime and construction industries. Wang Lusheng is Chitema's Chinese colleague. He came to Tanzania in the 1980s. Wang has been promoting agricultural technology in Tanzania for over 30 years. China State Farm, Wang Lusheng's employer, has been cooperatively developing around 6,000 hectares of sisal plantation here for over 18 years.
中国在坦桑种芥麻呢，我们考虑到它是一种比较好的经济作物，芥麻市场现在是非常广阔。通过我们这个农场来促进和推动坦桑尼亚芥麻业的发展。
Rudewa, where the farm is located, is home to 17,000 people among its 6 villages. Over the last 18 years, the farm has created a total of 10,000 jobs for the local community. Wang and his colleagues have dug wells, built village offices, and set up a hospital for the villagers. The farm has just completed construction of 60 flats for the employees. And Chitema has just been given a key.
This will be my historical event because it's just a time when I'm just expecting to have a new baby. If I just move from the old house to a new house. So I think my baby will come, will just live in the new house.
Sisal fiber production is labor intensive. After the rainy season, orders flooded in. Chitema and Wang rushed to seek extra help. They've worked together for over 5 years and have become like family.
First, I talk to him as a boss. Second, as my grandfather. Third, as a friend. That's why when I talk to him, I'm free.
Wang
Lusheng has lived in Tanzania for over 30 years and speaks fluent Swahili. Some even take him for a local.
我这个学私语呢，是从员外的时候开始的，因为那个时候来，我们最主要就是跟这个农场的工人直接打交道。
Chitema and Wang have found another 60 workers. The sisal leaves they cut are soon being transported for processing. The sisal farm in Tanzania is only one example of Sino-African agricultural cooperation. In Mozambique, a Chinese company has developed 7,000 hectares of land for rice cultivation, supporting thousands of local farmers. In Zambia and Malawi, the China African Cotton Company used China's model of a commercial company supporting independent farmers to benefit over 200,000 cotton farmers. By encouraging investment, sharing experience, and transferring technologies, China is mounting a cooperative drive to modernize African agriculture. In just under a year, Wang will retire and return home to China. He hopes that Chitema will take over his role and manage the team.
这个农场从开始什么都没有，一片荒地，到现在成片的这个剑麻长起来了，有深入的感受就是什么东西，就像自己的孩子一样。
I feel proud to be closely engaged in this industry. I see the potential of how I can support this industry and make my country develop more.
Leaving Tanzania and heading south along the Indian Ocean coast, we reach Maputo, capital of Mozambique. It's the country's economic and political center, where more than 1 million people live. However, a bay separates Maputo from the southern regions of Mozambique. Traveling between the two banks is extremely difficult. 26-year-old Eduardo lives on the southern bank of the bay. He works as an interpreter with a Chinese construction company.
Eu chamo-me Eduardo, tenho 26 anos de idade, sou moçambicano. Eu moro a 60 quilômetros da empresa.
For the past 3 years, Eduardo has taken the ferry to cross the bay to get to work, which takes almost 2 hours each way.
Antigamente, para ir à cidade de Maputo, era muito difícil, porque era necessário formar uma bicha grande para poder apanhar o barco. E quando haver ventania, e daí as coisas ficavam tão difíceis.
Residents around the bay have been longing for a bridge connecting the two banks. In June 2014, a Chinese company commenced construction of the Maputo Bay Bridge. It's over 3 kilometers long with a main span of 680 meters and towers of 137 meters. It's the largest suspension bridge in Africa. Upon completion, crossing time between the banks will be shortened to just 10 minutes. 28-year-old Yang Tao is from China's Jiangsu province. He's been involved in the construction of 7 of China's super bridges. Now installing the dehumidification system for Maputo Bay Bridge, he has Eduardo as his interpreter. For a month now, the team has been climbing to the top of the bridge every day. Their tube in their hands is 11 meters long and weighs 20 kilos. Standing over 100 meters above sea level, they're confined to a working space less than 30 centimeters wide. Yang Tao and Eduardo are fixing the air ducts, the final part of the dehumidification system. Installing one duct may take 2 hours, and all joints between the ducts must be completely sealed. The dehumidification system is vital to the bridge project. The 2 main cables contain 91 strands each, and they have a combined load capacity of 54,000 tons. The cables determine the lifespan of the bridge, and for the bridge to meet its planned century-long operational service, corrosion of the cables caused by ocean moisture has to be eliminated by the dehumidification system. In a couple of weeks, Yang Tao and Eduardo will finish their work. The completion of the bridge is also drawing near. The Maputo Bay Bridge will not only connect North and South Mozambique, It will also be a vital traffic corridor for all of southern Africa.
我觉得中国咱们是非常好的那个莫桑比克的朋友，是非洲嘛，非洲的朋友。
Besides the Maputo Bay Bridge project, other collaborations include 6,500 kilometers of highways and 20 super bridges, like the Addis Ababa Adama Expressway in Ethiopia, the Maputo Ring Road in Mozambique, the Entebbe Kampala Expressway in Uganda, and the Thika Highway in Kenya. All these recent projects are milestones in Sino-African cooperation and the improvement of transport infrastructure on the continent. The 1,600 kilometers of the Okavango River serves as the natural border of Namibia. On its southern bank, a village called Sayenwa is home to Maseka Theresia.
Izina lyange Maseka Theresia. Munambimbia, Murundu, Mukunda, Masawiyema.
Theresia is 68 years old and, 4 years ago, was afflicted with cataracts and gradually lost her sight. Her eldest daughter has been having to look after her.
Bunge kubabala uwa kwa mbunge kubabala nambe bundikalingi yakulya abende kubilya utobala kwa unika kate yakulya mwange njakele na mesho wange jenda njakele na mesho wange nipanga.
Theresia heard on the radio that Chinese doctors would come to Rundu to run a free clinic. Today, she and her daughter take an early trip to the hospital, hoping to see the doctors. There are very few ophthalmologists in Namibia. Less than 10 of them can perform cataract surgery. The arrival of Chinese doctors has brought hope to those patients who live in remote regions, like Theresia. At the same time, 700 kilometers away, 42-year-old Jiang Shunhua sets out for Rundu from the Namibian capital, Windhoek. It's her 5th tour of duty, taking part in China's Bright Journey program. Initiated by the Chinese government, the Bright Journey program was aimed at providing medical treatment for cataract patients in underdeveloped areas. This time, Jiang and 7 other medical staff from the Peking Union Medical College Hospital will perform free cataract surgery for 200 patients. They've also brought donations of medical equipment. At 3 p.m, Theresia arrives at Rundu Hospital. It's already packed with patients. Theresia is Dr. Jiang's 45th patient today.
Okay, open your eyes, close your eyes. 他呢，一个人，因为双目失明啊，也不能够独立行走，可能是他的女儿，背上还背着一个孩子，所以我就觉得这个家庭真的是很需要我们帮他做这个白内障手术。Because the flukes are cataract severe, so I prefer you right now.
The next day, Theresia is brought to the operating theatre. Jiang removes the clouded lens from Theresia's eye and replaces it with an artificial lens that she's brought from China. The operation lasted 10 minutes. 24 hours hence, Theresia will know whether or not the operation was a success. It's 9 a.m. the next day. For Theresia, this is the moment of truth.
Ninaligo mwina tala kumako kwangu wangena mwila wange yoshali na kumona kwa dunia nina umono honye
Since 2010, the Bright Journey program has sent more than 30 Chinese medical teams to Africa and restored the vision of almost 10,000 patients. In more than 40 African countries, Chinese medical experts are now cooperating with local hospitals, exchanging knowledge, donating equipment, and providing specialized medical services. Moving from Namibia to the southern tip of the African continent, we find the Cape of Good Hope. In the 16th century, European explorers felt that rounding the stormy cape would see them enjoy plain sailing all the way to the riches of the east. 52 kilometers away is the city of Cape Town.
Good morning, everyone. Now for the weather. In most areas of Cape Town, we'll be seeing some dense clouds in the morning. You may find it quite chilly as the temperature is only about 48 degrees Fahrenheit.
My name is Ibrahim Khan. I am from Cape Town, South Africa. I am a corporate strategist and business development advisor at Hisense.
Ibrahim is 33 years old. He joined Hisense South Africa 5 years ago. Every morning after working out, Ibrahim drives 30 minutes from downtown Cape Town to the Hisense Atlantis factory in the suburbs. A few years ago, the unemployment rate in Atlantis touched 50%. Many international companies hesitated about investing there and eventually abandoned the idea. The industrial park opened in 2013 after a year-long construction period. It covers 100,000 square meters and produces 1,200 refrigerators and 1,700 television sets every day. These are sold in 14 countries across Africa. Hisense has created more than 700 jobs, and 98% of their employees come from Atlantis. Ibrahim was the captain of his college soccer team. He hopes to organize a Hisense team to play in the Atlantis League. He visits Lee Yuan-suo, Deputy General Manager of the Industrial Park, to seek his advice.
Maybe we have a really strong team and they can play for the company, for Hisense, and they could potentially do us quite proud.
Reagan is the right person. He can organize the employees to organize a team.
Morning. Afternoon. Where's Regan on the packaging line? Regan, I'm looking for you.
Regan has previously organized soccer matches within the company and knows who the players are.
The other one. How are you doing? Good.
Adrian is 22 years old. He handles 600 refrigerator doors each day. His height of 1.98 meters sets the young midfielder apart from many of his peers.
A little bit more about which position do you play in?
I'm a goalkeeper.
25-year-old Lindsay is a quality controller. He inspects all components and parts. Though a little portly, he has very sharp eyes.
Good.
26-year-old Bevan is a forklift driver. Every day he moves hundreds of cases of products. He's also the team's striker. Leroy, a 22-year-old salesman, is the bridge between the products and the customers, and plays in defense. Within the day, Ibrahim found 12 local players, and with Lee's support, 3 more from amongst his Chinese colleagues. He now has 15 players for the team. Lee comes from Shandong province in China. 10 years ago, he was assigned to South Africa to develop a TV manufacturing line. Lee is now in charge of the entire industrial park. In collaboration with Ibrahim, he pushes both production and sports activities. Hisense is one of the many Chinese enterprises that have invested in Africa. In recent years, the Chinese government has been promoting industrial cooperation with African countries. The China-Egypt-Jeddah-Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone in Egypt, Awassa Industrial Park in Ethiopia, the FAW Koga plant in South Africa. Over 3,000 Chinese enterprises have invested in Africa and, in so doing, created over 100,000 jobs.
Let's go, boys!
Ibrahim and Lee hope to bring their team's performance to another level.
实际上，我们在2013年我们建厂的时候，目的就是为了要南非当地制造 ，proudly made in South Africa。如果说我们在当地组装，不仅仅是降低了成本，而且为当地创造了就业岗位，为中国企业赢得了声誉。我觉得这是一个双赢的合作。我是28岁才开始踢球，这个时候的这个身体各方面，柔韧性已经很差了，但是我还是非常尽力的去跑，去争抢，这种精神不能丢。
Although Hisense lost their first game by 4 goals to 1, the journey of this young team has just begun.
Because it will teach them a sense of teamwork, a sense of working together to achieve a target that is important and that is relevant.
An old African saying goes, to go fast, walk alone. To go far, walk together. From the Eastern African savannah to the sands of the West, from the north of Africa to its southern coast, the blossoming of these Sino-African collaborations across the continent have brought people together. They share a common destiny, Africans and Chinese joining hands and walking together towards prosperity.